Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's Jacob. In this video, I want to talk to you about how to build additional income streams or new income streams while you're still working a regular 9 to 5. Or perhaps you're like I was when I first started looking for ways to make money or make extra money online, and you're working, a hell of a lot more than 9 to 5. You're probably working like, I was doing like 8 to 10, 8 to midnight, sometimes longer, right? 9 to 5 is a nice little throwaway line, but the reality is a lot of people work a hell of a lot more than that. Coming to you from my balcony, from my home office here on the Gold Coast in Australia. It's a beautiful afternoon, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to step outside and film this video. If you haven't already, first things first, head over to jacobcaris.com and subscribe to our daily email newsletter. I talk all about how to sell information online, and that includes creating courses, being a coach, a mentor, a consultant, an affiliate marketer who sells digital products, and we're going to talk a lot about that in today's video. Okay, so head over to jacobcaris.com and subscribe to our daily email newsletter. That's free. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like at any point throughout it if you get value from it, or if you just want to help us out with the YouTube algorithm, you can click that like button right now and that would be much appreciated. Okay, so let me start off a little bit by telling you my kind of backstory when it came to looking for additional income streams while I was still working my 9 to 5, as people like to call it, even though it was, in reality, it was a hell of a lot more than that, okay? I'd always kind of had an interest in making money online, so to speak. I worked in the corporate finance game from 2011 until 2018. And I'd always dabbled and kind of kept an eye on what was going on in terms of opportunities online and stuff like that. But my, I can see a plane going past, a bit of noise. But my job was so busy, right? I worked both here in Australia and in New York in the finance game, and anyone who watches this that's done that knows how crazy it is. So I never had enough time to fully invest in really growing anything meaningful or anything substantial. And in 2017, I had under a year to run left on my contract working in New York, and I needed to find something that could kind of sustain me for the long term, that would mean I wouldn't have to work the hours that I've been working. Just having some coffee. And that was when I came across the affiliate marketing business model. And I really didn't have any time to put into it, but I knew that I needed to get something moving now so that when I got back to Australia the following year, I could kind of hit the ground running, so to speak, and wasn't kind of starting from scratch. So, a lot of people say, oh, I don't have time, and I really struggle when I hear people say that, because the reality is we all have time. We just need to prioritize it, right? So for the first 12 months of my business, it was built on the go mostly. It was built in Ubers, on the subway, in planes, in airports. Basically, whenever I got a couple of minutes of opportunity, I would work on it. So the reason I tell you this story is because if you are genuinely serious about adding additional income streams or figuring out how to make more money while you are working your job, there's an important lesson in that, which is, if it's going to be anything meaningful, right? And I want to talk about a couple of the different avenues, but assuming you're not just looking to make literally like a few bucks, if it's going to be anything meaningful, like in the thousands of dollars a month, potentially leading to it replacing your income, which was my goal, and I know is a goal for a lot of people who start something like this. They start a side hustle to kind of see where it can take them, so to speak. You're going to need to be prepared to sacrifice other stuff, right? Like, you're going to have to sacrifice time watching Netflix, or time socializing, or time, even time with family and friends and all that kind of stuff. Like, you just need to be prepared for the fact that while there is a massive amount of opportunity out there, it doesn't just kind of come freely to anybody. It comes to the person that's willing to go out there and fucking grab it by the throat, so to speak, and really take that opportunity and run with it. So the reason I tell you that story about how I got started is just that's the reality, right? That's the reality of of a significant number of side hustles online. Okay, now one thing I want to highlight is I see a lot of people fall into the trap when they are looking for other ways to make money, which is they look at these things that are like surveys and filling out forms or doing these little stupid tasks online, and they might make a few bucks, but the reality is it's not going to change anything, right? Like it might make you kind of $50 here or there or whatever, but it's not really going to change anything. So if I could really kick you off on the right foot with this kind of stuff and looking for legitimate ways to make extra money online, I would encourage you ASAP to be prepared to start selling a product of some kind. Okay, get out of the traditional employee type mindset of if I do some stuff, if I do some tasks, someone will pay me, and get more into the business building mindset of I'm going to either find a product or create a product to sell, and I will take the profits. Okay, so my first tip in terms of starting to create additional income online would be don't tackle it with the same employee mindset of I do XYZ, I get paid, right? Tackle it from the perspective of I'm going to find a product that solves a problem in the market. I'm going to take that solution to the market, even if there's other people already doing it. That's fine, but you're going to do it, in your way, and I'm going to make and benefit from the profits as opposed to like I put an hour in and I get paid, $10 or whatever the rate may be. Okay, because I see a lot of people get stuck in that. They're chasing this kind of side hustle income, but they will do anything to avoid selling, or anything to avoid learning marketing, or anything to avoid, starting a business, so to speak. And so they get stuck in this like side hustle hamster wheel almost, which is ironic because generally that's what they're trying to escape, of these little surveys and stuff like that. That if you can find one that's legitimate, might make you a few bucks, but the reality is that, it's probably not going to be anything substantial. Okay, so just keep that in mind, right? Now, when it comes to models that kind of facilitate that, when it comes to what models are out there that actually allows you to go out and do that, you've got quite a few. The big ones for people getting started in the online space are affiliate marketing, right? You've got e-commerce like / dropshipping. You've got course creation, product creation, digital product creation, and then some folks like to go into kind of client side work, right? Might be like a digital marketing agency or something like that, but client work, and that does have crossover to kind of the information space as well. But they're your major models, right? You're going to be selling some kind of software, some kind of course, some kind of service that's either based on your current knowledge or knowledge that you're going to acquire and kind of building this type of business, and that's the thing that you're going to be selling. Okay, now for me, back in 2017, and this may be appealing to you as well, it depends on your situation, it depends on your budget, it depends on your skills, it depends on your appetite and your willingness to learn, it depends on how competitive you are, all of these kind of things. It also depends on your background and what you're good at and what you're interested in as well, because that does play a role in it. Probably not as much as people think, because you can definitely make money without being overly passionate about something. That doesn't necessarily correlate to profit, but it can help if you're interested in a topic. So 2017 for me, when I think I could probably call it re-stumbled upon, or at least the light bulbs went off for me in 2017, was with affiliate marketing. And the reason was because my time was limited. I wanted to keep things as simple as possible, like as fewer moving parts as I could. And so for those reasons, like dealing with physical products and returns and all that kind of stuff, that kind of put e-com out the window. I was dealing with enough clients in my corporate finance job, so a client-side business wasn't really appealing to me. And that kind of left affiliate marketing or like course creation, digital product creation. And I was I was so insanely busy. I'm not saying this as like a beat up. Like, you can ask anyone that knows me. It was insane. And so going out there and creating my own thing, and then having to create the digital assets and all that kind of stuff to actually sell it, it was too much. It just wasn't going to work. And so affiliate marketing massively appealed to me, because I could work with a company that had all that stuff in place. They had a product that was converting. They had a sales system that was converting. They had all that stuff. I just had to kind of bring people to them, and then let that conversion kind of go to work, so to speak, or at least learn some basic skills and assist in that process going to work. So that also meant cutting off the back end in terms of creation and customer support and merchant accounts and all that kind of jazz. So that's why that model really appealed to me, and that's what I'd recommend that you get into if you are looking to make a side income, and you're not the person who just wants to do basic tasks and kind of keep perpetuating that employee approach, and you are interested in the idea of actually starting your own kind of online business. I would encourage you to look into affiliate marketing, because it's a simple way to get your foot in the door. And if you learn the right skills when you go about doing affiliate marketing, it's going to serve you really, really well for the long term. Okay. Now, within the affiliate marketing world, things really open up, and you've got a lot of options. The first big decision that you're going to have to make, if you're following along here with me and this is something that interests you, the first big decision that you're going to have to make is, do you want to be what I might call a business brand, or kind of sit behind the scenes, or are you comfortable with, or does it interest you in being a personal brand, right? Like doing something like I'm doing and creating content on YouTube, or putting out content on Facebook, where you are the face of the business. That's the first major decision point that you've got to make, okay? And that's going to dictate the strategy that you deploy as well. That decision around, okay, I'm gonna build a personal brand, which is where I can, in particular, help you and other people that are interested in doing that, because that's what I've done. That's really going to dictate the strategies that you've got at your disposal to implement, okay? Now, from there, once you've made the decision on which one of those paths you want to go down, you need to decide on, okay, well, I'm going to build a personal brand. Let's say that's your decision that you make. Then you need to decide on, okay, well, what am I going to sell? That's the first big decision. How am I going to sell it? What's the vehicle that I'm going to use in order to make that happen? And you do get assistance with that in the affiliate space, right? Because the companies that you're working with can give you resources, or arm you with resources to help with that. So that's really beneficial for someone getting started out. And then the third thing you got to decide is, who am I going to sell to, right? And that encompasses a couple of things. That doesn't just mean like, who is my ideal customer? That means like, what platform am I going to use? Am I going to use YouTube? Am I going to use Facebook? Am I going to create a blog? Am I going to do Instagram? They're your big three decision-making points, okay? So once you've made the decision that that's the model for you, which I'm recommending, right, based on my own experience, and I've won a hell of a lot of awards in the affiliate marketing space, and I'm not talking from theory. I'm talking from literally, that is the model that got me out of my, what you can call a 9 to 5, but was really more like a 9 to 9 or a 9 to 12. So I'm speaking from experience, and that's why I recommend it, because it's close to my heart. And I've helped a ton of students do the same and implement this business model. There's some people out there that don't like it, but that's fine. As with everything, there's things that people don't like, okay? So you've made that decision, that's the model you want to use. The next decision, as I said, is, are you going to be the face of the brand, or are you going to sit behind the scenes? Okay, if you're the type of person who wants to sit behind the scenes, you're either going to be creating like a blog, or you're going to be creating a business that runs ads, okay? You are slightly more limited in your strategies that are at your disposal if you want to sit behind the scenes. That's fine, you just need to accept that slight limitation. It's in no way terminal or fully debilitating. You can absolutely do it. And when I got started, I was still working in the corporate world, and we were working on some quite high profile corporate cases, so I had to sit behind the scenes. So I got started blogging. That's how I got my start into the game. Then when I left my job, I transitioned into a personal brand and kind of leveraged the momentum that I'd built doing it from behind the scenes to kickstart that. So you can't, that's not to say you can't jump from one to the other, but just make a decision now, which one are you going to start with? I'd start with one and really, really focus all in on that, okay? Now, once you've done that, that's where we arrive at these big three decisions that you need to make, right? You need to decide on what am I going to sell, okay? I would recommend that you go with digital products. I'm definitely biased there. The margins are there. You can sell high ticket stuff. You can sell recurring stuff. You can sell courses, events, software, all kinds of different things. Coaching programs. There's a ton of opportunities out there for things that you can sell, but the margins are way higher for the product creator, which means that the commission that they pay you is going to be a lot higher, which is obviously amazing. That's what you want. That's going to drive your profits. Okay, so then you need to think, okay, so I'm going to go down the digital product path. That's what I'd recommend to you. Now you need to go and choose something. There's two different approaches you can take here, right? And you might need to rewatch this video a couple of times because, as you can tell, we're kind of stepping down a bit of a decision matrix. But you can follow along with this if you kind of rewatch it. Then you need to decide, okay, well, am I going to be like the type of person who just kind of gets an affiliate link for a product and starts promoting it? Or am I going to be the type of person who really wants to heavily vet the product that I'm going to promote? Okay, now I'm not going to judge you either way. I recommend that you really know the stuff that you're going to sell. And that's why we make our affiliate programs member only, because I don't want people promoting our stuff who don't know or haven't used the product. But, you know, that's up to you, right? I'm not going to sit here and have a go at you if you just want to go get an affiliate link and promote it. That's fine. It's just what I recommend, and it's what I've seen the best results with is people who actually know what they're selling. They tend to be able to sell it a hell of a lot better. So regardless, Google's your best friend, right? Marketplaces like ClickBank, JVZoo, they're really good, especially if you want to go down that path of just, you know, getting an affiliate link and starting promoting. Getting active in communities on Facebook and stuff like that is going to be a good place to learn about opportunities and products to promote. But you've got a bit of a decision point here around niche and product, okay? A lot of people are going to go, oh, just go find a niche first and foremost. And that's fine advice. It's not that bad. But the problem is, if you go and find a niche and it's quite specific, there may not actually be any affiliate products that you can promote, right? Like there may not be anything readily available for you to promote in that niche. So you do need to consider these two things hand in hand. You need to consider the niche that you want to work in. Totally agree. But you need to also make sure that that niche actually has products for you that you can sell. So as you're thinking about your niche and as you're thinking about your products, I would think about them at the same time. Think about them hand in hand, because you can't have one without the other, right? So that's your first big decision point. And that's just going to take some research on your part. Get active in some communities, hit up Google, hit up some of the big networks. All it does is it takes us a little bit of legwork. There's a lot of people in this space who want everything handed to them. Jacob, what product should I promote? I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know what niche you want to be in, right? I don't know how comfortable you are selling. I don't know what sales mechanisms you want to use. And that's all going to dictate product as well. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of research. So spend the next couple of days digging and finding something that interests you. Then it's up to you. Do you want to invest in that product to see if it's something that you really want to sell? And that's going to come down to the individual, like I said. Okay, so that's your first major decision point when it comes to, you know, getting into the specifics of affiliate marketing after you've decided what type of brand you want to build. The next one is, what's your sales mechanism going to be? Okay, and this is also going to be dictated by, you know, what assets is the company giving you. But there's two main approaches here. You can either sell one-to-one, or you can sell one-to-many, or you can do a hybrid and kind of combine the two. Eventually you want to get to a point where you're combining the two, right? Now, if I've kind of confused you a little bit when I've said one-to-one or one-to-many, all it really means is, are you going to use an automated process like a website or a sales funnel? That's one-to-many, as in someone can go and look at it and consume it when you're not there. Like this video is one-to-many. I film it once and then, you know, hundreds of people can watch it. Or one-to-one, where you're actually having a conversation with somebody. Okay, now that may not sound appealing, but it's actually very, very lucrative, because for higher ticket opportunities, one-to-one is really, really powerful. Because for people to spend a few $1,000s on something, typically they're going to want to have a conversation with somebody about it, right? Typically they're going to want to get some information about what's kind of going on. And so if you can be one of the people that, gets over the little fear of having a conversation with another human being, it's actually a really lucrative way. The other thing that I want to mention about choosing that one-to-many or one-to-one is this rolls into the last decision point, which is the platform that you're going to use and how you're going to get in front of people and how you're going to drive traffic. And those two need to be congruent, okay? So if you're doing YouTube, you're going to want a more automated sales process. You're going to want a funnel or a website, kind of like I have links in the description for this video if you want to check those out. Or if you're over on Facebook where you've actually got the opportunity to communicate with people, you can do one-to-one, and that's congruent with that platform, okay? So if we roll this all back up together, if you're someone who's interested in adding some side income, there's a couple of points that I've highlighted here for you that I just want to reiterate. One is, as much as you can, as quickly as you can, step away from the traditional kind of employee mentality of I do a task and I get paid, or I do an hour's work and I get paid. This is going to be the best way to ultimately, potentially turn that side hustle into a full-time income. The second one is you got to decide on the model. And as I said, I recommend affiliate marketing because it simplifies a lot down and you can focus on the front end of driving people to a point where they make a purchase of a product that you don't have to create or handle the support or handle the back end or any of that stuff. But look at the other options that are out there and see if they are the right fit for you. If you decide affiliate marketing for you, I've got a ton of videos on this channel where we dive into more detail about that. Then you need to decide, am I going to be the face of the brand or am I going to sit behind the scenes? And then we get into those three big strategic decisions that you need to make. What am I going to sell? Remember, Google's your best friend there. Go out there and find stuff, look at it, decide if you want to buy it, go through it, all that kind of stuff. How am I going to sell it? Am I going to set up an automated process or website, all that kind of stuff? Or am I going to do one-to-one and communicate with people and network and do all that kind of stuff, better for high ticket? And then what platform, congruent with my sales process, am I going to use? Right? Am I going to use YouTube? Am I going to use Facebook? Am I going to run ads? Am I going to do Instagram? Am I going to blog? They all work, okay? Now, as you run into other marketers and they want to sell you on their strategy, they're going to tell you this is dead and that's dead and this strategy works and that strategy doesn't. As long as you're using a platform that's current, all of the major strategies still work. People will bitch and moan and say it didn't work for them and they probably didn't stick with it long enough or they probably didn't put in the time. That's just the reality of it. They jump around. All of the major platforms, the strategies work. It's just a matter of how long you're going to stick with it until you break through. And the reality is most people don't have a lot of sticking power and they want instant gratification. The longer you can hang it out, the more and more and more likely you are to be successful with it. Okay, so if you're looking to make additional income online, that's the, decision matrix or the decision tree that I would recommend that you work your way down to the point that you land at a product to promote, a method to promote it, and a method to sell it on a certain platform, and then spend the next 6 to 12 months doing just that. Nothing else. Block everything else out. And there's no reason you can't build that side income up to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 a month, and then that can potentially become a full-time thing for you and replace that 9 to 5 that you're looking for extra income to get away from, okay? Hopefully you got some value out of this one. Give the video a like if you do. If you've got any questions, drop them below. I'll do my best to get back to you. You can check out the links for some of our programs in the description as well. Head over to jacobcaris.com and subscribe to the daily email newsletter. Subscribe to this channel, give the video a like, all that kind of stuff. And I will talk to you all soon. Cheers.